the last week's actually really important just because it will finally secure our spot.
All that really matters is that we get to playoffs.
It's probably not success if we don't make it to playoffs.
I think we're pretty close to securing our playoff spot. We just want to get the best seed for playoffs and probably practice more.
당연히 가장 중요한 건 플레이오프 가는 게 중요하다고 생각하고요. 그 안에서도 순위가 중요하다고 생각해요.
Not making playoffs would be kind of sad because I feel like I'm definitely in the top 6 of my role. So I feel like I deserve to be in playoffs. I feel like my teammates are top 6 in their role. They deserve to be in playoffs. It's just up to us.
I've never played in a top 4 event, and yeah, I'm Canadian, so going to Vancouver would be really sick.
If we're gonna win the split, we just need to improve and we need to just play as good as possible.
I'm pretty happy with our results, but I want to go Vancouver.
Welcome to the final day of the 2017 Spring Split. There's plenty left to be decided with our matches here today, and fans have gathered to cheer on their favorite teams as they make the final push for playoffs or to avoid relegation. Here we have Phoenix One walking into the studio just a short time ago. They'll be up against TSM, our #1 seed here, hoping to hold on to that position. Wild Turtle making his way in. Pobelter eyeing the camera as the Immortals squad finds their way into the studio, and Dignitas getting set up on stage just moments ago. Chaser Lod looking to make their push into the playoff picture. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, and helping me round out the split here on the desk is Mark Zimmerman and Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler. Gentlemen, we're already here at the final day of the regular season.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. Kobe's prepared. He's got all his notes.
Yeah, I've got 3 pages here.
Yeah, I got it all here. No, I'm good, dude.
Yeah, Kobe's taking care of all of the notes for us. We're just here for the comic relief. For our standings, though, this morning, before we get into the business, let's review it, what's set in stone, and what can change with today's game. C9 and TSM have locked their playoff byes and will be attending Vancouver, but who goes as our first and second seed is still left to be determined. Phoenix One have locked third no matter what happens today. CLG guarantee playoffs but have yet to secure their seed. Envy are fixed in 10th place and will attend the promotion tournament. That leaves the coveted last 2 playoff spots between FlyQuest, Immortals, and Team Dignitas. And of course, 1 spot in the promotion tournament between Echo Fox and Team Liquid, depending on the day's results. We'll see where those teams fall with our final day of matches. First, on NA LCS 1, TSM attempt to secure the top seed going into playoffs in their match against Phoenix One. Then FlyQuest go against Team Liquid in the Battle Arena. Over on NA LCS 2, though, Team Dignitas and Immortals fight for a spot in playoffs, with Counterlogic Gaming and Team Envy battling later in the day. Now, though, it's time to turn our attention to the match that affects who finishes in first. TSM, Phoenix One. What are our thoughts here?
Well, I think the big thing, of course, is the fact that TSM lost to the 9th place team in Team Liquid yesterday, and they had a perfect match record in Game 3s. They were 10-0, I believe, heading into that series, and then they finally lost their first one. And it kind of felt like it was bound to happen at some point. They had lost so many Game 1s over the course of the season. This is really the first time they got punished for that.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous that it happens against Team Liquid, last place team with Doublelift, who was just given over to the squad. Honestly, really good story for him, though. Doublelift feels very good about beating the team that he's going to be trying out for in summer, and Wild Turtle, probably not the same feelings there.
Well, so yeah, we talk about the struggling bot lane for TSM yesterday up against Doublelift and the 9th place team. There was also a struggle for the bot lane of Phoenix One. Arrow and both of his supports kind of getting smacked around a little bit by Sneaky Smoothie.
Exactly. It was kind of a surprise. Both TSM and Phoenix One are coming into this match with a loss, and with a very weak performance from their bottom lane. So that's really going to be up in the air, and whoever bounces back better should determine a lot of it.
Let's talk about predictions then, because of course C9 here hoping for the win from Phoenix One to push them to first. But from you guys, I want to know who you think is going to take it here. Which of these teams is going to rebound better from the loss yesterday?
And just as far as rebounding better, I feel like TSM, all of those players are super amped up and ready to come back onto the Rift. If they win this game, then they get their first place spot. Whereas the Phoenix One players, if they win, Cloud9 gets #1 spot for them, so they're kind of like, I kind of care about it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit, maybe more motivation for the TSM players, and I think they might have a little bit more fire coming into the match. That being said, also, I think the solo laners of TSM are going to be outstanding. So even after they lost to Team Liquid, I'm going to go with TSM.
Mark, where are you at?
I'm with TSM as well. Kind of like what you were just hitting on at the end there. The solo laners both looked really good in their matchup versus Team Liquid. And it was, I wouldn't say fluky. It was just that TSM was winning the third game and then picked a lot of bad fights in a row. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. I think they're going to come out much sharper today, and they'll be able to take Phoenix 1 down.
Now, what's important to note here is that if things go the way that you guys predict, TSM, they get first place by match record. So it's in their own hands. But of course, if you two are wrong, and that's been known to happen.
Never.
Just throwing that out
Just look
there.
at yesterday's track record. Come on.
If you guys get that wrong, then C9 will take first due to game win percentage. So I guess we do know who Cloud9 is cheering for today. They're not trying to keep it a secret from anybody. Quite obviously, the whole team.
You can pick
rocking
those up.
those Phoenix 1 jerseys.
You can get those in a Goodwill store someday soon. Starting next week, they'll be available in one of those discount thrift stores.
Right, yeah. What are they going to do with those after today? Our next battle, though, that we got to talk about is a battle for the final playoff spot between Dignitas and Immortals. And in contrast to that TSM series that we just spoke about, this one has big playoff implications for both teams involved, where the winner is going to playoffs.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons this one is so exciting as well. Team Dignitas, you know, they have had some very good performances, specifically from Chaser. Someday as well in the top lane has been performing more to the expectations, but especially that series that we're talking about right here with Cloud9, Chaser absolutely blasted contracts in quite a lot of them, even though Team Dignitas lost to C9 in that series.
And Mark, the other day we were talking about, you know, the trends for Dignitas and how, you know, Keen's performance kind of individually has mirrored the trends of the team, right? You do the comparison between weeks 1 through 4 and 5 through 8, and it's just a world of difference. So, I mean, looking at that mid lane, do you think Pobelter, who, hey, last year we were looking at as a top 3 mid laner, is going to be able to kind of keep Keen under control this time around?
I think it's a decent chance of that happening. Pobelter obviously started the split off horribly. He was potentially one of the worst mids in the LCS, but now he's bounced back extremely well, as well as the bot lane of Immortals stabilizing a lot around the fact that Dardoch's the playmaker. So I think Immortals have kind of found their groove, found their formula and how they want to win. But Dignitas did that as well because they were struggling in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Immortals did get their victory over CLG yesterday versus the sort of sub and role swapped situation. So they are coming in with a win, whereas Dignitas lost that game on Friday. So maybe there's a little difference there, but the confidence is definitely an issue. You talk about, you know, correlation between player performances and team performances.
Exactly.
Confidence in Dardoch is very important for Team Liquid,
All right,
for Immortals.
Well, do or die time here, right? You know, you can only afford to really drop a single game within the series itself. Who do you have more confidence in bringing in 2 victories to push themselves
You may go
to the
first
playoff?
this time.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go with Immortals. So I think Chaser is such a linchpin for Dignitas right now, where he has to get the mid lane going specifically, because getting the top side going has not translated to wins too heavily. And I think Dardoch is the kind of player who's going to match that early on and might take over the game before Chaser can do what he really wants to, as well as the fact that I think Immortals bot lane is just a little bit better than Dignitas' right now.
I will counter with Team Dignitas. This one is going to be super close.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely hard to decide between these two. However, you bank a lot on Dardoch having these really good performances like his Lee Sin one. He has had recent carry performances. I don't know about the consistency for Immortals yet. I'm not quite convinced. And even though I'm very scared about Team Dignitas late game and the decision making there, that very well could cost them the series as well. I do have confidence in Chaser after his C9 series. And I think that Keen has been doing really well with resources that have been given to him. So I'll give the slight nod to Team Dignitas.
Hey, split desk here, and I think deservedly so between these two teams. It definitely feels a bit like a toss-up in terms of which one's going to come out ahead in this one. The results of today's matches might require us to look at our tiebreaker rules. However, our stats team crunched all the numbers, and all possible tiebreaker scenarios today can be resolved without a tiebreaker game. So, if at the end of the day 2 teams have the same match record, there are 2 rules we will use to break that tie. The first of which is head-to-head. If the teams remain tied, we move to the following rule, which is game win percentage. Whoever has a higher game win percentage will advance. Once again, all results today can be resolved with one of those 2 rules. So for more information, check out our entire rule set on lolesports.com. Now, a reminder, there are also still tickets available for our spring finals in the Pacific Coliseum. Join us on April 22nd and 23rd for a weekend of North American LCS action to see who will be crowned champions. Check that info out and more at lolesports.com. LOLesports.com. There's a whole lot of info on LOLesports.com. I feel like people should visit that more often.
Yeah, you got a couple minutes.
Right?
Pop up
on there
another
that
tab.
you're trying to push people to?
I'm just apparently there's all kinds of information available on LOLesports.com. They had me say it twice. Anyway, that's enough out of us here today. Let's send it over to the
Sell out.
Get the game sell out.
Well, sellouts are over. Thanks very much, Dad.